Welcome back, viewers at home. You're still tuned in right here on INX Prime, channel 345 on your DSTV decoder. Now, Prince Simphiwe Mazibuko, widely known as Prince Wako Pitori, is making significant strides in the lives of the youth. He was born in Mbombela, Mpumalanga, 31 years ago, but was raised in Tshwane, where he saw the alarming rate of teenage pregnancies, drug abuse, and alcohol abuse, which then led him to establish DreamHub. Now, DreamHub is a boot camp aimed at instilling discipline and self-esteem in troubled teens and young adults. Today, Prince will share with us his motivation, challenges, and the impact of his work. Good evening, Prince, and welcome to INX Prime.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Now, we know from your profile that you were born in Mbombela but raised in Tshwane, yes, and how DreamHub came to be, as well as also the interesting, rich background that you are a motivational speaker, you're a storyteller, you're a poet. If I were to ask you, how would you best describe yourself as an individual?
I'm basically just an individual who has made a heavenly oath to be the last person to give up on the youth of this country.
And now, speaking on the initiative that has us quite, intrigued and quite interested to understand what is it about, I want to know what really inspired you. I know you mentioned earlier on just seeing in your community or just around teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. Would you say that's what inspired you to do it, or is it because you saw the impact through like a family relative, or something of that kind?
All right. Basically, growing up in a place where, kids go to jail, come back, and they've missed a lot of years of their life, has had an impact in the way I think about the world at large. So seeing very talented individuals get into trouble because of their surrounding or the lack of, being reprimanded by their parents is very much heartbreaking, because these kids can make something of themselves. They do have talent. Some can sing, some can play soccer, but all those dreams are shattered by their own, lack of discipline. So discipline for me is what it takes, or the thin line between success and failure.
Amazing, amazing. And now, speaking on DreamHub, I'd like to hear from you, what is its primary mission?
The primary mission of DreamHub is to ensure a lower rate of crime in the ages between, in the teen ages. We strive to make sure that these kids at least have, a program that will take them off the streets and, change their way of thinking so they have a better chance of fighting for their own future and success. So, yeah, that's what it is.
And for someone who probably knows so much about these camps that, speak on disciplinary and trying to instill a sense of disciplinary and esteem to the young ones, how would you say yours is different? What sets DreamHub apart from the other boot camps?
DreamHub touches the heart more than it does the mind. Touches the soul more than it does the mind. We do not just punish these kids. We do not just take away the privileges for a week. We do not just wake them up at 4 a.m. We touch their souls. We touch their hearts. We make sure that whatever it is that's within, that is contributing to the root of the problem is changed by the way they feel, not the way they think. So we are much more of an emotional organization than we are a physical or mental one. So we strive to touch the heart. That's why in the videos that have been trending, you see these kids crying and begging for forgiveness, kneeling before their parents for the first time in their lives, and just showing sincerity in the manner they are apologizing. It is because of what we make them feel at the camp. We make sure that they know how life would be without their parents, how life would be without their cell phones, and all the privileges. Make sure how it would feel to go to bed without your favorite meal. At least you've eaten something, even though it's not your favorite meal. So we are much of an emotional organization compared to the others.
Now, for someone who hasn't really seen the videos on social media of the individuals crying and you also getting feedback to say, how are you feeling? Because I think I did run into some of the TikTok videos. What would you say to them that best describe the process of, here I am handing you my son or daughter who is using drugs and, you know, is basically taking their privileges for granted? What is the process?
Basically, you just we have numbers, we have phone numbers, contacts that we put on social media, that you can contact. And even though we are struggling with the numbers, it's a lot of parents that have a problem that are contacting us. You WhatsApp us, you get an auto response that takes you to our WhatsApp group where we can address, you know, all the parents all at once. And then from there, it's an easygoing process. You talk to me personally, sometimes you talk to our assistant, and then just like that, you've booked your child into the camp, and you know, you are not going to see your child for the next 10 days, if not 15 days or 5, because we have different packages for different kinds of children, depending on the finances of the parents. So for the next, you know, whatever, 2 weeks, a week, your child is not going to have a phone. Your child is not going to be in contact with the outside world. Your child is not going to be having their favorite food. They are going to be cooking their own food. They are going to be starting their own fire, supervised by professionals, of course. And they are going to be making their own beds, you know. This is just to train them to be independent when they go back home, to have a helping hand and to know how to contribute to the household. Yes.
I believe, Prince, you parted ways with Rising Stars Generation and Discipline Camp. I want to know, from, you know, parting ways from that camp to now starting your own, can you take us through that journey of now starting DreamHub from scratch to now what it is?
I've always had a thing in me. I've always had, you know, this hunger to change the world, even if it's one child at a time. So when I was at the Rising Stars, I didn't do much. I didn't have a lot to do. They would just book me to come and motivate the kids. And, you know, unfortunately, due to disagreements and, you know, not getting onto the same platform in terms of certain things, I felt that this was bigger than all of us and it needed to be done in a bigger scale. So I took 2 of my friends from there who wanted, you know, to enlarge the mission and reach out even further. So it has been difficult. Speaking of that, I would like the country to know that we do need all the help we can get, whether it be donation of tents, finances, pods, whatever it is that we need to, you know, make sure that our mission is effective and fruitful. So if you are out there and you can donate, we are a registered NPC with the government. Everything we do is legit, and so if you do have a helping hand, we would very much appreciate that, and so would the kids.
Amazing. Now, speaking on some of the issues that you tackle, teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, we know thing, they'll be like, gidi show me, or it's the content they're consuming. In your view, working with these children, what would you say are some of the mental and physical challenges that bring them to such circumstances where, I mean, they get to talk to you guys and say, okay, I did this because of that, and ultimately I was swallowed by it. What would you say are the most reoccurring stories when it comes to like that speaks on the mental as well as physical challenges?
Unfortunately and very sadly, it is very, very, very disturbing to find out that most of these kids are not, you know, the cause of their own behavioral problems. These problems stem from home. These kids are, you know, exposed to households that are not fully functional. There's abuse involved, and the behavior of the parents rubs off on the kids. There's a saying that says, if you hang around at the barber shop long enough, soon enough you'll get a haircut. So if a child hangs around in a household that's not healthy, soon they become toxic themselves. And it's disturbing to see parents dumping their kids at the camp. Their kids make a huge change, put in the effort, put in the work, but when they come back to collect their kids at the camp, you can tell that the kid has done their part, but on their side, they are not ready to receive the kids as changed people as well. because it serves no purpose for you to bring the child to the camp and then you make no change yourself. How useless would it be to pour clean water into a dirty cup?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very saddening to find out that a lot of these kids, their behavior stems from the behavior of their own parents, which is why we are also initiating a camp that's going to include parents coming to the camp with their kids to have a few sessions, just so they sit down with a professional, a therapist, who's going to neutrally and in a safe way put it out on the table for both of them to communicate effectively, so that the child can cough out and tell their parents, I don't like it when you come back home late with different men. That's why I'm doing it, because I'm taking it from you. I don't like it when you drink alcohol in front of me. You are tempting me because I don't know how this thing tastes, but every time you drink it, I can tell that you become happier, you become more energetic. So I'm doing this because I saw it from you. Yeah.
Now, the biggest question is, are the parents ready for such a very heavy loaded conversation that will bring a sense of accountability from there? And I think this is something we're going to be on the lookout for. Now, speaking on some of the programs at the, DreamHub camp, I want to understand from you as to how do you tailor make these programs? Because as you're saying, they cook for themselves, they are without their phones, certain privileges basically are taken away. But is there a standard program, or it's tailor-made, seeing that the group that comes in or the issue that they come in with?
There are, activities and programs within the program at large that are specifically, or constantly changing because of the age group, for example. You can't treat a 7-year-old like a 21-year-old. You can't treat a male the same way you treat a female. There are those few activities that are compulsory and will be there throughout the camp, on to the next one and the next one. But we do have tailor-made activities and programs that will be altered there and there to suit that specific crowd that we have at the moment in time. For example, teamwork. Teamwork works for everyone. We have activities that promote teamwork and communication, because not all the kids that come to us are troublesome. I think a lot of people need to understand that. Sometimes kids are brought to the camp because they just need to break out of their shell. They are not confident enough. They are shy. They don't make friends. They are locked within themselves, introverts, and when they come to the camp, they are forced to work with other kids, and that's where they find out that having friends and asking for help actually helps.
Now, earlier on, you spoke on how once the child is now have realized their actions, their behaviors, and given a very more positive perspective on how to handle issues and how to come out of this ill, be it alcohol abuse, drug abuse. I want to know from you, how do you measure that, okay, this is now effective or successful?
All right. First of all, as you've seen in the videos, most of the kids show remorse. When we see remorse, when you see a child cry, when you see a child isolate themselves from the crowd, sit alone and cry, and you ask them, you will tell that this person is very regretful of the things they've done. They are starting to appreciate their parents even more. They are starting to see how privileged they are. They are starting to see how much they've been taking everything they are given on a silver platter for granted. So the first sign is remorse. The second sign will be, the way they respond. On the first day, as you've seen, we have opted for a military style kind of camp. On the first day, when you give the drill to them and show them how to respond, you will see a lot of attitude. You will see a lot of, rebelliousness. But on the second and the third day, you start to see them, answer with confidence. When you call them to attention, they'll, pick their chin up, eyes forward, standing up straight. You'll see their confidence. And that's when you see that they are starting to see the effectiveness of being able to take instructions, listening, and, speaking out loud so that everyone can hear you. So those are the mini signs, but there are signs that are very, very deep. You'll have a cry that you'll have a child that has nightmares at night. And then on the third or fourth day, they'll tell you that this is the first time I've slept very peacefully. You ask them, why do you think that is? And they say, it's because I've conquered my inner demon,
Wow, that is quite positive. And I just want to circle back to that statement you said where the structure is like that of a military base. And I think this is me moving off a tangent, is what are your thoughts on this idea of, kids, or should I say people who are coming of age, 17, 18, going for military training? Do you think that's a bit harsh, or it's something that will instill discipline, considering the work that you're doing in the community?
I believe that it's very effective because basically this kind of style tells you that it's either you do this or you lose. It gives you no other option. You are in a tunnel full of mud, and the only way to get out of it is to drag yourself out, pull yourself out. That's life in general.
Yeah.
In life, when you get into trouble, you have to pick yourself up and move forward. Other examples, you get into obstacles that you need to complete. In the military, if you don't complete a certain obstacle and you sit down, they are not going to give up on you. They're going to sit there, wait for you to do it for yourself. No one is going to pick you up. This is life in general. So I believe that a lot of military style tactics need to be instilled within our daily lives. I think this would work very much for the country. Hence, we are about to branch out into other provinces of the country. We are planning to go to KZN. We are planning to go to Eastern Cape. We are planning to go to Limpopo. We are going to go planning to go to other places of KZN, as we've seen that there's a lot of drug use in early ages there, and we are also going to Mpumalanga. So our goal is to have at least 5 provinces that will be specially attended by us within the next 6 months.
Now, earlier on, you did have an outcry in terms of more support from the public to invest in assisting the NPC itself, being
Yes.
DreamHub. I want to know from you, what would you say are some of the running or operational challenges of running DreamHub, and how do you actually go about overcoming them or hope to overcome them?
All right. First of all, we constantly have to change the tents to adapt to the climate.
Okay.
We had tents that were, especially tailored for winter right now. You can't have kids in summer or spring sleeping in tents that, are heat and specialized. It's too hot. The kids need to breathe. At least if we have tents that are specially or specifically designed for spring as well, that would help us a lot. Our biggest challenge right now is the finances when it comes to having all of those things. We need tents, we need bigger venues, so hence we are crying out loud right now, asking anyone, if you have a place that we can use that can accommodate the number of kids that we are getting every day, that would be of great help. If you can donate tents, that would be of great help. If you can inject specific amounts of money to make sure that our day-to-day becomes easier, that would be a lot of help. We are an independent NPC running the camp from our own pockets and taking payments from parents just to help, oil the engine, make sure things run smoothly. But I will not lie and say we are, perfect and we are doing it on our own. I am begging and asking the country to come out and help us. This is bigger than all of us. We need all the help we can get. The least you can do is that if you can put in a helping hand, just give us the little you can give us. It's not for us, it's for the future of the country.
Now, for a loaded close-off, I'd like for you to share your socials so viewers at home can see the work you're doing and hopefully invest in the beautiful work that you're doing. And secondly, I would like for you to share with, you're a community-based, someone who operates within the community to uplift the community. What would you want to be the takeaway from the conversation we had this evening? And lastly, what message would you have for viewers watching today in terms of working together as a collaborative and as a unit in getting rid of the alarming rates of teenage pregnancy, that of alcohol abuse and that of drug abuse, especially that is affecting the youth who is our future?
All right. First things first, there's this thing that's been introduced called soft parenting.
Okay.
Since soft parenting came into existence, we are having problems that are rising. I think we need to reevaluate and replan. We are not saying abuse your kids. We are not saying hate your kids. It doesn't always work, but we are saying do not behave in a way that's going to rub off on the kid in a negative way. Stop drinking alcohol in front of your kids. Stop buying alcohol for your kids, telling them to drink with you in the yard. It's safer just because you don't want them to go to the streets. What's wrong is wrong. Put your foot down. Make the child remember that they are the child. You have something that they don't. You have financial power. And having a bit of a cut-off there will, of course, show them that at the end of the day, they are going to have to grow up in order to be independent and not depend on anyone else to do things for them. Teach them independence. Stop spoiling kids. Stop buying things for no reason. Make kids work for everything that they get so that they know that out there you are going to have to work. Otherwise, you will not eat. You will not get the things that you want. On social media, we are Prince Wako Pitori. That's my personal page. It's the one that's on 1 million on Facebook. On Facebook, it's Prince Wako Pitori, the one with 1 million. Any other page is not us. On TikTok, it's Prince Wako Pitori as well. We are headed to 1 million. I think we are on 700 and something, heading to 800,000. That's the only page of ours. DreamHub does not have a specific page on any platform that has the name DreamHub and a profile picture and whatsoever. That's not us. Number two, our only numbers that are operational and are legit and are connected with us are 067 2738 264. 067 2738 264. And then it's 078 249 8540. That's 078 249 8540. Those are the only two numbers that we use or we are available on. Any other phone number is not us. We have 2 banking accounts. We have an FNB business account. That's the DreamHub account. And then there's my account personally. It's a Time Bank account. The account number ends with 559 at the end. The other one will have our name on it, DreamHub. That's our only account. Anyone else is not us. Do not pay people or give people money thinking it's us, no matter what they say to you. The only details that you can use to reach us are the details that I just gave out right now. I'd like to remind the country again, please, if you know you can help, come out and do your best to put in a helping hand. It's not about us. It's not about you. It's bigger than all of us. It's about the future of the country. It's tents, pots, anything you can donate. Just come through, join the fight.
Prince, thank you so much for a conversation that we all need as South Africa, and thank you so much for creating an outlet where parents can come in and have their children see change and see greatness in them. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Only a pleasure, ma'am. Only a pleasure.
Viewers at home, as you heard it, they confirmed their legit contact details and social media pages. I think what we can do as citizens of South Africa, if you're seeing a page that is a bit sus, I think it's best to notify them so they can best handling it, because we do not want scams already. We have job scams and many other scams. I think the last thing we need is a project of this kind being tainted by the likes of scammers. That was my conversation with Prince Wako Pitori, who was sharing in on how he instills resilience and confidence through the great work he does with DreamHub. On that note, that's where we close it off. Let's head over to an ad break. See you when we come back.